Welcome back. This is the final part in this 3-part series. If you haven't seen the first 2 parts, there are links to them in the description. I'd like to begin this video with a prediction. I predict that I'll be removing some foreign particles from the lid in the near future. But before I get into that and the completion of the wood hinge installation, I need to prepare and clean up the internals of the lid and body for applying finish to the inner receptacles. Before attaching the lid to the body, I'm sealing the inside of this project with 1 and now 2 coats of clear matte finish varnish. As you can see, I've applied masking tape to opposing sections of the hinge trenches. For the unmasked sections, I'm applying soft wax to prevent the carefully measured portions of glue from infiltrating the barrier and curing in areas where it is not welcome. Off camera, I used a backup section of dowel and recut the hinge sections, as my first attempt was not cut into enough sections to divide unequally between the lid and base, and now this piece will be dealt with appropriately. I'm sure you've noticed what I've done here. It's possible I was a little too excited to assess the hinge installation. In my haste, I forgot to remove the masking tape, which prevented the lid from opening properly and threatened to shatter the excitement. I eventually realised my oversight, then removed the masking tape that was preventing access to this container that now has a successfully installed wood hinge. I'll finish off the hinge installation in a moment. First, I need to remove a carpet stain. Due to my miscalculations when segmenting the original piece of dowel for the hinge, I was left with no choice but to replace it with an alternative piece. Although the colour matched, unfortunately the grain didn't match exactly. However, I was able to overcome this discrepancy due to the successful installation and functionality of the articulating connection, which ultimately exceeded all my expectations. Absolutely beautiful. With the shaping of the capsule-like container nearing completion, it was time to shift focus and assign attention to making the base for the vessel, where it will eventually reside. To achieve the particular look I have in mind for the base, I've created a router guidance system, where the core box cutter equipped router will remove all material within the predetermined boundary. I was engaged in a cautious approach to gradually tease out and reveal the shape I had in mind for this base. Then I decided a more aggressive attack would force out and accentuate the underbelly of this little beast. When I'm focused on the shaping process, it helps to think of the various shaping tools you see here as treats. These treats are to lure out and release the inner piglet to take its position as the base for this container, where it will stand unwavering and bear its load. With this pre-prepared template, I'm hoping to generate a future event, a scenario in which I envisage an inquisitive or destructive individual who discovers the hidden chamber I'm about to create that contains a message from the past. Perhaps it's not so much of a porthole, but more of a receptacle for a stainless steel time capsule, but it's my choice to think of it as a porthole to the future. I believe what I am attempting to gesticulate here is that these screw holes were not only to fix the porthole template down, they are coincidentally located in exactly the same positions required for the brass screws I'll be using to secure the base to the body. Coincidence or not? As I mentioned in part 2 of this series, the uses for the rotating base of manifold, here's another example of yet another practical application. When it was time to apply finish to this project, I determined the outdoor spray area to be a no-go zone due to the unfavourable atmospheric conditions. So I made an executive decision and constructed a makeshift spray tower rotisserie apparatus to ensure an even application of varnish. Well, that certainly made things easier. That's the first coat done. Now after applying the second coat, I'm taking advantage of the base's ability to rotate once again, and I'm setting this apparatus to quick dry mode. The content of this document has been intentionally obscured to maintain an element of privacy, while simultaneously and optimistically planting a seed of intrigue. I housed the profound note within a precisely cut and deburred stainless steel cylinder. Then the armoured message was deposited into the custom-made receptacle, where I ambitiously believe it will remain until its discovery, several centuries from now. The following sequence is what I envisaged and now hopefully have encoded within the piece of salvaged oak that inspired this project.